Yeah, this is before the actual paperwork came out, and a bunch of these are that way, by the way. So is the Glenn Beck clip. I think I have. Most of these people have not. They're reacting. This is completely political, and then they're going to see the indictment, and then have to walk this shit back. Well, so have that in the back of your mind while we're looking at a bunch of this stuff. Okay. So here we go. All right.
We check in now with the great one. I call him the great one. He's the host of Life, Liberty.
Yeah. Thanks for clarifying that, Sean, because no one else does.
Levin, weeknights, weekend Sunday.
Weed nights?
At 9 p.m., top show on the network. The great one, Mark Levin. Mark, I'll just hand it to you. I know you got a lot to say.
Yeah. Okay. Hannity has to go take a dump. So he always gives it over to Mark Levin and then just goes and vapes and takes a shit.
President Trump is 76 years old.
Hold on, sorry. I don't know why I should have had these on him. Mark Levin is very upset and doesn't realize that they've got two key lights right on his dome.
If the Department of Justice gets his way, he will die in federal prison.
Wait a minute. If the Department of Justice gets his way, so Trump wants to die in prison?
Just by one of these counts, conspiracy to obstruct justice, which has a 20-year maximum sentence. This is a
Wait a minute. Are you saying Ronnie Jackson's full of shit?
Disgusting. Disgusting.
It's disgusting. So it's disgusting. Is it disgusting, though?
Mark on American history for the future to come.
History for the future to come. I see. So in the future, when we have like jetpacks and flying cars and everybody's got like nuclear diamond batteries that last forever and we don't need fossil fuels anymore, and most of us can, we've got some sort of chip matrix thing in our head that allows us connected thought or isolated thought whenever we want at any given moment, and we can matrix any skill into our head. All of us will be like, this is all great, but still upset about that whole Trump fucking around and finding out thing.
By these bandits in the White House, by the Democrats.
Yes, Biden, I think the point of like Biden riding by masked on a horse and dropping off the indictment, I thought that was gauche.
Democrat Party that don't play fair anymore. They don't want to just win elections. They want to take control of this country. They want one-party rule. And they have...
Yes, that's the thing about the Republicans. They're always arguing like, no. We have too much control. We don't want the House and the Senate and the Supreme Court and the White House. You can have two of those. It's only fair.
Use the Department of Justice and the FBI to get what they want.
What they want is him to face charges for the crimes that he's committed. So I don't know who else they're supposed to use. The CDC?
Merrick Garland is a mob lawyer.
That explains the accent. I want to say that he's never done anything illegal, unless you count all the times he sold dope disguised as a nun, and he's never done anything illegal, unless you count the preschooler's prostitute ring. He's a low good double dealing.
That's what he is. Jack Reed is a rogue Soviet-style prosecutor.
Jack Reed? Not that Jack Reed. Who's Jack Reed? He doesn't. They reopened the. Oh shit. Who's Jack? Who's shit? Hanover Fist calling Hanover Fist. Yes, I don't know who Jack Reed is, but he's apparently a bum. Sorry, Jack Reed.
Presidential Records Act is not a criminal statute, and it was.
Well, have you heard his record? I mean, the singing is criminal.
It was never intended to be. The Espionage Act.
Yeah, we know.
Act of 1917 was passed under Woodrow Wilson, another corrupt president.
Yes, who apparently wasn't corrupt enough to not let espionage be okay.
Woodrow Wilson used it to go after his adversaries, and they imprisoned 2,000 people. So I suppose over there at the Department
Which, by the way, Republicans are and were for.
of Injustice, and this clown prosecutor spent a lot of time at the
Jack Reed, he's talking to you, buddy. Whoever you are.
Hague. They probably figured these laws could be used to try and entrap Trump. All these obstruction issues that they claim, where the former Attorney General, Bill Barr, comes up here and bloviates about it, and all the formers coming on talking about obstruction. They have them on obstruction. There'd be no obstruction issue of any kind, not even in anybody's imagination, had they not criminalized this case.
Had they not criminalized his criminal conduct. Why would they do such a thing? Also, this picture is criminal. I don't know who at Fox hates his guts, but they're fucking with you, Mark.
This is a document case.
Yes, classified documents. Top secret documents, dummy. Mr. Lock Her Up.
A document case.
A document case. Document case. It's a document case.
Where a president of the United States
had top secret documents. It's a top secret document case.
Former president faces 100 years in federal prison? Is this some kind of a sick joke on the American?
No. Well, I don't know. You'd have to ask him. I think he looks sick, but not that kind of sick.
People? Joe Biden says he never told them what to do. Joe Biden had to sign off on that's becoming a National Archives case to have it go to the Department of Justice.
No, he didn't.
Who does he think he's lying to? The American people?
No, he's lying to the Romanians just for old time's sake.
This is a guy that's got documents from the time he was in the U.S. Senate, for God's sakes.
Well, he's currently president, so some of those documents he can take out now and look at. Because this might shock you, but the president actually has more access than senators do. So he's just visiting old friends.
In his garage. I don't want to hear.
No, he doesn't. You know why? Because the ones that were in his garage were found in an FBI search that he asked them to carry out, and they got them back. He didn't fight it. And he didn't show them to anybody else.
From the legal analysts, the technicalities about false
Oh my God, here's Trump sitting next to what he is afraid he's going to look like.
Statements and obstruction.
That guy's like, we're the same age.
This should never have been a criminal case. Willful retention of documents. Well, what's the unwillful retention of documents mean?
Means what happened with Pence and Biden. They didn't do it on purpose, and once they found them, they turned them over and they didn't fight it. The willful retention is knowing you're supposed to turn them over and lying and obfuscating to get them. And again, this asshole is yelling without seeing the unsealed indictment that came out today. I can't wait to see his follow-up rant.
They're throwing all these process crimes and all these crimes that grow out of the criminal investigation against Trump.
Oh, you mean like Whitewater turning into a blowjob case? Nah.
What did he do with the documents? Did he sell them to the enemy? No.
Well, we don't know because a bunch of them are missing, fuckhead.
No, that's why we have an Espionage Act, not to trick up a president. What did he do? Did he burn them all? No.
Not all of them. Some of them, apparently, he tried to flush down the toilet at one point. But a lot of the stuff he took was because he wanted copies. He wouldn't burn those things. Although he said literally in the indictment, he's talking to his lawyers and saying, can't we just get rid of them? Wouldn't it be better if we just got rid of the documents that they had? And then he starts having them bring the boxes in. And then there are a bunch of empty folders like these. So, and by the way, Mark, I think they're fucking with you at Fox News because a couple of these folders are supposed to hold classified documents and they're empty. The contents are not supposed to be removed. Or if they are removed so you can look at them, you're supposed to put them back into it. And the fact that they're empty points to the idea that whatever was in them, which is tagged to them, by the way, it's not just like they print up generic, versions of these folders and sell them in the fucking commissary. These are specific to the documents inside.
The government has all the documents back.
No, they don't.
So there is no violation of the Presidential Records Act.
Yes, there is. He refused to give them back, and he had them pass a subpoena, and he signed off. He had his attorneys lie to the FBI and to NARA. We were all there. I mean, you look like a weird Benjamin Button baby, but were you born yesterday?
At this point. But they throw the book at him?
No, not at all, actually. They handed the book to his lawyers. His lawyers went, fuck, and they left. So they didn't have to throw the book. The lawyers went, this is your book. Goodbye.
They go after his attorneys. They make them testify.
Well, because he was engaging them in an ongoing crime, actually, that made another attorney who wasn't aware of the circumstance lie to the FBI. So the attorneys that signed off on that and the employees that were involved in that he's talking about, they caused someone else to break the law unknowingly, and they were aware that they were doing so at the time. So attorney-client privilege doesn't apply. Unless, of course, you want to live in a banana republic, Mark, in which case, sure.
They're attorneys under the crime-fraud exception to attorney-client privilege. That means he didn't have due process. His own lawyers were being subjected to
No, he has due process. You just can't circumvent due process by having your lawyers commit a crime for you. Well, all right. At this point, I'm just going to say that I think Mark's letting his emotions get away with him. You know how women can be, according to them. Well, men can too. This is Fox at its most emotional. I feel like we should accept, how upset he is, and
interrogations, and they had hundreds of in-person people testifying in front of grand juries.
Yeah, lots of witnesses to what he did, stupid.
Thousands of collections of documents for what?
To find out that he was holding the documents that they collected that he wasn't supposed to have.
For what?
To collect the documents that he wasn't supposed to have.
And they indict him today?
Yes, they indicted him well. I think this is from yesterday. So no, they indicted him a few days ago, and then they informed him, and then like maybe 2 days ago, and they informed him the next day that he'd been indicted. Sent the letter. Takes a little while to go through the process, and then today they unsealed it. So yeah,
they indict him today in Miami.
Yeah, fucking Miami. Don't get me started.
All of a sudden it's in Miami.
All of a sudden it's in Miami. You know how people in Florida hate him.
All of a sudden we have a Florida grand jury because.
Yeah, well, what we don't have is apparently lights in West Palm at the Lee County Conservative gathering. All right, can I just say, remember when we did footage from this the other day, and I was like, this just got to be shit video. They can't obviously have the lights off while he's standing there. Nope, that's what it really looked like. Thanks, Fox. Just because I thought it was me. It just turns out that footage is just ass.
A moron in Washington figured out that there are venue issues that could lose him his case. This guy, this prosecutor, he lost 8-0 in the U.S. Supreme Court when they overturned the conviction of the former governor of Virginia because this jerk took a statute and expanded it. A jury in North Carolina wouldn't convict John Edwards because this jerk took a campaign statute and expanded it. And he's taken this case and he's undermining the country.
Well, then I don't know what the fuck you have to worry about. I mean, I do know what you have to worry about, but I don't know what you think you have to worry about. If all Jack Smith does is call, court cases and expand stuff beyond its scope, and then it gets thrown out.
He's interfering with a presidential election. And let me be clear.
Why start now?
As Jared said.
Jared, the guy from Subway? You're not going to quote kid fuckers now, are you?
The Attorney General of the United States made this final decision. This is not the independent counsel statute. This is a special counsel appointed by the Attorney General under a Department of Justice regulation.
Yeah, we know how the system works. Where you don't have to shout. You don't have to shout that part. I would say that part you can probably just say with a normal voice. Otherwise, I'm getting the feeling that you're just yelling to yell.
This Attorney General who pretends he's Helen Keller, he made the decision.
I got to say, his Helen Keller impersonation is the bomb.
To indict the former president, and they made the decision to interfere in this election. You want to talk about...
Or Trump decided he had to start running for election early because he was aware that he was getting busted. You know what? I'm sorry. I interrupted you. You were yelling something?
An insurrection? This is an insurrection. And
yeah, it's a softball insurrection. It's a light touch. It's a feather touch. It's a tickling insurrection. It's an erection. It's an election erection reach around.
That's exactly what's going on here.
All right. Well, good. I mean, that clarifies it. And I was confused up till now.
Let me go on. Joe Biden is the crookedest crook that's ever been in the Oval Office.
Crooked. If you're a crooked crook, is that a double negative that makes you actually honest?
Everywhere.
That sounds like isn't an undercover cop technically a crooked crook?
We look, there's a predicate for a special counsel. They won't appoint a special counsel, even though it's compelled under the law in which they appointed this special counsel.
So they didn't appoint this special counsel? They didn't?
And you're not supposed to appoint a special counsel against your political opponent.
So anybody that's on the opposite side of the aisle from you just gets away with crime now. That's the law? I'm going to need a citation. I am. And by the way, they're putting Fox News Alert under this just to explain the screaming.
Winston Churchill stood on the rooftops in London, very calm, making speeches. Winston Churchill.
In the case of Biden, 20 shell corporations, $10 million coming from the communist Chinese military, spread out among the family, no businesses to support this, endless media.
Well, I mean, look, I understand how you're playing a game of telephone with what Marjorie Taylor Greene thinks she heard. But I will say the indictment, it's 49 pages. There's a lot into it. It beats the shit out of a paid informant from the FBI that you guys have told us we shouldn't listen to anyways.
Endless meetings with Hunter Biden's business partners. Bobulinski.
Well, they had to end at some point, or they're not meetings. They're relationships, aren't they?
Who ties Joe Biden to the crimes. Mr.
You mean Bobulinski, who was engaged in crimes and was mad when he got fired because everybody else wouldn't join him?
Big, Mr. 10%. And what does Biden say?
Mr. Big, Mr. 10%. I have not heard these nicknames for Trump. I mean, for Biden, but I think he'd prefer them. I think he doesn't mind them. Call him Mr. Big. It's very Sex in the City.
Well, then where's the money? He's asking us, come and catch me if you can.
Right, yeah. Yes, that's what he's saying. Where's the money? Show me the money.
The idea that this man isn't under a criminal investigation and that they criminalized a damn document case to go after Donald Trump is sickening. And I would say this to our fellow Americans.
If they're still listening, some of them might have their head under the couch right now. Also, it wasn't until he got really loud that I realized how alone in that studio he actually is.
Don't be bamboozled by these cable channels and these fools who come on. And
he says from a checks notes cable channel with a bunch of fools.
And tell you, well, he's not above the law. Are you kidding me? Democrat Attorney General in New York, Democrat prosecutor in Manhattan, Democrat prosecutor in Atlanta, Democrat Attorney General in Washington, D.C.
Trump's judge in this is appointed by him directly.
What do you mean he's not above the law? There is no law.
Oh, okay, well then what does he have to worry about? I don't even... There's no law. Oh, good. Well, I mean, does he even have to show up next Tuesday then?
What's going on here is a disgusting disgrace.
It's a disgusting disgrace. Before I thought it was just disgusting, but now it's a disgusting disgrace, and that's filth.
It is war on Trump. It is war on the Republican Party, and it is a war on the republic. The radical left is doing what the radical left does. While
uses the court system to adjudicate criminal charges. Man, these people are monsters.
they cover up for Biden the way they covered up for Hillary.
Thank you.
If Donald Trump is to be charged like this, Hillary Clinton should have been charged with 10,000 counts of obstruction, because that's how many emails she destroyed, and 5 counts of destroying cell phones, because that's how many cell phones they destroyed. I'm done, and I'm sick of it.
Well, I think that settled it. That's great. Also, you know, there's a difference between having documents that you are showing to people who shouldn't see them and destroying them entirely. This is for the record. Also, no one can destroy emails. You can destroy emails at sight, meaning that the copies that you have of them are no longer available. Say someone picked your pocket, stole your phone, broke into your computers, and that would be advisable in a national security sense if the other side that has them is the servers of the U.S. government that can protect them better than you can. Just saying, that's why they destroy their phones when they leave. Everybody does it. If they have any private phones that there was any crisscross on, that's what they have to do. But anyways, he's done.
What
were you saying about that thing I was shitting?
So, you know, Mark, many years ago you said to me, and you said, Sean, you look like a cross between a thumb and one of the R gang kids all grown up with a pituitary disorder. In one of your books, we're in a post-constitutional America. And what you describe...
Yeah, you said that years ago. Is that still true? Because after that, Trump got elected, and I was confused.
Here, when you said they are the ones that are the...
Yes, they, them, yes, not the they, them pronoun people, but the they, the big they, the giant they, the super they.
That are abusing the power, that they've criminalized political differences, that they've weaponized the Justice Department.
But enough about the Bush administration.
That's what you're saying. They love the term insurrection, and you're saying that's them. They're not abiding by the law. They're not abiding by the principle of equal justice.
No, they actually are. Specifically. This is a great example of it. And by the way, Mark, you look fantastic. You look like a happy guy. You look healthy. You look glowing. I don't know what your secret is, but I'm fairly certain it involves an alien symbiote laying an egg in your belly.
Or equal application of our laws. Am I hearing you right?
You're hearing
That was them. This is
me
them.
right, and let me say this.
No, I'm not going to let you say it. Oh, all right.
Today, what is today's date?
It doesn't really matter, does it? It's America's dead o'clock anyways.
June 8th?
Is it June 8th? Yeah. Okay.
June 8th is the day of insurrection, not January 6th. A weaponized U.S. attorney, a weaponized Attorney General of the United States have unleashed the full force of the United States government against a former president, the leading...
No. I have to say, like, the U.S. government has something like 2,700 nukes and a standing army of hundreds of thousands active. They're just taking them to court for normal criminal shit. Full force of the U.S. government? You must not think we can do shit.
Republican nominee to take on the existing president. We have never seen anything like this in the United States.
Well, that's because you never elected a dickhead like that before. I mean, you got to, at some point, you go, what's the reality here? That we've never had, that the entire country is a lawless mess of just random vengeance, or Trump's an asshole who fucked around and found out as an individual, as a former game show host turned media gadfly and professional liar who weaseled his way into the Republican Party, and you bit down on his balls, developed lockjaw, and are proceeding to be dragged to death.
We saw it under Stalin. We've seen it in other
I didn't. I've read about it. I mean, come on.
Autocracies.
Yes, automatocracies. And I got to say, governments can't drive themselves. I don't care what Elon Musk says.
Marxist regimes, fascist regimes, the third world, but they have taken the
fashion regimes,
United States of America, and they have dragged us into a hellhole.
Oh, it's terrible. So terrible. And we're just spending all our time trying to get out. And by they, you mean Trump and his ilk and your friends and people at Fox. No?
This is embarrassing. It's humiliating. And I'm going to...
Okay, I keep talking. I like what I'm hearing.
To tell you something. There are tens of millions of us. You have crossed the Rubicon twice.
Oh, so we're back on the good side of the Rubicon? Cool. All right. Well, that was easy. Shit. Figure if you cross the Rubicon, now you're across it. So we crossed back. I guess, everybody gets a mulligan.
There's never been
on the Rubicon.
Done. And we will never forgive you. Never.
Never. You're never gonna forgive me. I'm ashamed to be this happy.
Ever. And
oh, well, now you've done
that's
it.
the bottom line.
That's the bottom line.